Shalom, and welcome to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul, your Biblical Hebrew podcast. Shalom and welcome to our Biblical Hebrew podcast. Today I would like to speak to you about Jacob and the name that he received from God after struggling in the river of Yabok. After Jacob struggled with the angel in the passage or in the river of Yabok, he received a new name. In Hebrew, Israel. And now I wish to open with you a new door to a new world that the sages discuss a lot. Since Jacob has two names, Jacob and Israel, or in Hebrew, Yaakov ve'Israel, we see two parallel relations. When he is named Jacob in the Bible, this is his name in regarding to the tree of knowledge, to the temporal, to Rachel, and when he is named Israel, is his relation to Leah, to the tree of life. And I will explain these concepts. When Jacob was born, he was holding his twin brother Hil, in Hebrew Akev, Ain Kof Bet, and he was named after the heel of his brother, since heel in Hebrew is Akev, and the meaning of his name, to follow, Yaakov, he shall follow, because Akev in Hebrew is heel, Yaakov, he shall follow. So this is the meaning of the name Jacob in Hebrew, he shall follow. Every human has two heels, and the heels is the lowest part of our body, which touches the ground, the earth. Since we have two heels, the name Yaakov is always mentioned in the Bible in regarding to the world of duality, the world of conflicts, the world of the temporal. After he was struggling at the river of Yabok, he received a new name, Israel in English, and the meaning of the name Israel is Li Rosh, meaning I have a head. Head, we have one. Heels, we have two. But head, each person has one head. And the Bible wants to say that everyone who uses his head, meaning the eternal, he is Israel, the tree of life. Once we have shown how the numeral value, and this is a side mark, how is the numeral value of the names of the 10 spheres in Hebrew create the volume of Israel, which is 541. But let us continue in our conversation. So Jacob has two names. Jacob, when the name refers to the temporal, and Israel, when it refers to the eternal. But also there are two kinds of relationships which are mirroring in those names. In his relation to Rachel, he is named Jacob, and this relation between both of them mirrors the relation between the sun and the moon and the tree of knowledge. While under the name Israel and Leah, we see a reflection of the relation with the tree of life. The name Israel, is written with 5 letters: Yod, Shin, Resh, Aleph, Lamed. The numeral value of the name Israel is 541. Now, the last 2 letters of the name Israel are Aleph, Lamed, El. If we add the letter Hey at the end of the name Israel, for the letter Hey has a numeral value of 5 and also stands for the 5 letters that compose the name Israel. And then we have 6 letters. Now the last 3 letters of the 6 are Aleph, Lamed, Hey, which in a different order, if you write it Lamed, Aleph, Hey, we get the name Leah. This is his first wife. Now, the numeral value of the name Israel, plus 5, which stands for the 5 letters of the name Israel, gives us the following equation. 541 is the numeral value of Israel, plus 5, which stands for the 5 letters of the name. We get the sum of 546. When we take the sum of 546, which is the numeral value of the name Israel, plus the 5 letters which compose the name, and also in a hidden way referring to Leah, and we divide this sum into 7, we get the sum of 78. 78 is the numeral value of the word lechem in Hebrew, which is bread in English, and also 78 is the numeral value of melach, which is salt in English. This is also numeral value of the word to dream in Hebrew chalam, and also the numeral value of the word forgive, which means in Hebrew machal. Another aspect of the 78 is that 78 is the numeral value of 3 times the tetragrammaton, the 3 lines of the tree of life. So this was a little conversation about the name Israel and his relationship to Leah and their unity as a reflection to the tree of life. We wish you a beautiful day and wonderful week. Thank you for listening to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to hear more about a certain topic, just write us an email to hebrew@learnoutlive.com. We are always happy to hear from you. For more episodes, videos, and articles like this, please visit our website at hebrew.learnoutlive.com. We also would like to invite you to join our live classes. Just search for Online College of Biblical Hebrew on Facebook and start learning now with students from all over the world. Koltuv and Shalom.